process as we work through it, okay? As far as SRN, since I see you, Richard, you guys are still gonna stay the same way. Currently, you guys are not going on to WebScheduler just yet, so that won't change for you guys at the moment, okay? And Debbie, I'll let you take it away.
Good morning. Good morning. Early birds. You definitely get good traffic, that's for sure. So WebScheduler is a way that we can kind of automate your scheduling process, and it's the self-scheduling component of our scheduling program One Staff. So instead of submitting an email or a paper calendar or something as you may have in the past, you now can go into this application and just schedule yourself accordingly. And as Carmen said, it's your preference, but nothing's guaranteed. There'll be balance. But as you can see, it is web-based, so you can go in from home to webscheduler.sharp.com. You can go that way through the intranet at Sharp, or you can go to the A to Z menu and go to WebScheduler through that way. But it's just easier to go to our intranet and type webscheduler.sharp.com. Everybody should have been emailed their username and password on Friday. That password will be a temporary one. It'll ask you to change it once you log in. I will let you know that this password, because it's a web-based program, will not sync with your other Sharp passwords. You can make it the same one and you can go in and change it whenever you want to, but it's not an automatic sync. So just to let you know that. So then you'll log in. Oops, I'm going to log in as an employee, sorry. I'm going to expire soon, but that's okay. I'm going to change it now. The first thing that you'll actually see when you log in is the calendar tab, which is up here. And this would be your current schedule. Anytime you see it in blue, the schedule's already published, so that would be the same as if it was posted on your unit. If you happen to go in here and you're working and you see it in yellow, then that means the schedule hasn't been published or finalized. When we say published, we mean finalized. So I'm kind of a slacker. I'm only working one shift in September. But this would be my whole schedule here, would show. If for some reason I really didn't know what that O was or I wasn't looking, I can click on that for my daily schedule and I could see it more on daily to give myself any more details that I may use. But your monthly schedule will go here. What's important to remember when you go from tab to tab is that you will need to go to the correct month for whatever you're going to want to accomplish. So again, the first tab is your schedule. This is also where you would go to swap shifts. And if I wanted to swap this shift here, I think you may have seen that when I clicked on it. I click on it and then I can swap. And what's going to happen is you'll go to the day you want to swap to, and a list will come up of people you could actually swap with. And as Carmen said, this isn't meant to change your current process, so we're not saying to you, don't talk to people, don't talk to each other, don't talk to Carmen. So hopefully you've already talked to somebody and kind of decided you guys want to swap, and you could click on that person, and then you could put, as discussed, can we please make this swap, okay? Now if you're in a hurry and you haven't talked to anybody, you could blast everybody in here and just click them all and say, can anybody swap with me for this date? Because you're going to swap on whoever you want to swap with.
That's cool.
It is really nice. And then you click swap. And as you can see, if somebody wants to swap with you, the swap button turns orange. So I currently have someone who wants to swap with me, so I would go in there and look at it. And you can see the swap has proposed to work this shift for you if you will work this shift for them. Once you accept it, then it'll go to your schedule admin for approval. Okay? It won't go to Carmen until you, or Sherry, you're going to be an admin. It won't go to Carmen or Sherry until both people have actually accepted the swap. And then it goes to them for approval in case they need to look at a skill mix thing or if someone's overtime. So I have now swapped that shift, or I've agreed to it, and it's going to go into my scheduler admin. So the other thing that you will be able to get is the app on your phone, should you choose to. It's a free app. It's called ANSOS to Go. It is in your Employee Quick Guide. You would go to whatever app store you have if you're an Android or iPhone user, and you download ANSOS to go. You can then see your schedule on your phone. You can do work requests, requests for PTO, and swaps on your phone. Okay? Can't self-schedule on your phone. They didn't design it to be done on a device that small. But you can do it on, and for those of you who have Apple devices and always struggle getting to sharp locations, again, it's not a sharp location, it's an actual website, so as long as you can get to any other website at home, you won't have trouble getting to webscheduler.sharp.com. Available shifts, what this now means is these, once we publish your schedule, these are the shifts that are still open, still need to be worked. These are available shifts to be picked up. And if you were to click on this, anywhere there's a star, it means that there is a shift that's open on your unit to work. Now this particular test employee is in a float pool. So when I click on the star to see what's open, these are the shifts that say are open on this day for me to pick up. If I want to pick up one of these open shifts, I just click submit, and then it will also go to the scheduling admin to look at the schedule and see, has that been filled or do they still have a need? It wouldn't be filled if it was showing here, but maybe there's not a need any longer. Anytime you've requested something and it's pending, you'll see this little question mark. Normally if you hover over it, it says pending, but somehow in this system it doesn't. It'll say pending. That means you're not committed to it. They're not committed to it until it's approved or denied. If you have a request and it's approved or denied, you'll receive an email letting you know. You won't have to guess. But again, you can always go in here and look and see the status of whatever you've done too. So anytime you see this, that means something's pending with your request. So again, available is the available shifts to be picked up once the schedule's been published. Those are open shifts that remain. If you don't see a shift that you can work that's open, but you want to let your supervisor, your lead, Carmen, Sherry know, or even Gisela know that you're available to work, you would then go to requests. And this is where you would request to work or request to be off, your PTO days. And as you can see, they tried to make it intuitive, the blue clock to work, the sunshine to be off. So wherever you would want to be off, or even work, so if I click the clock, it's going to open up pretty much every shift to me because I'm going to say I'm available for this shift. I'm available to work this shift on this day. You can make a comment if you want. It's not necessary. It's pretty self-explanatory that this is a request to work. And then you click submit, and that goes to the schedule administrator for processing. If you want PTO, it's the same thing. Just click on the sunshine. Once that comes up, you're using PTO or PTO fill. PTO fill is designed to tell them, Carmen, I shouldn't say them, tell your folks here that you don't want to work that day, but you're not expecting PTO. So maybe you're taking PTO on Friday and Monday, but you don't want to be scheduled that Saturday and Sunday. You want that whole gap of days off. So you put the PTO fill in, kind of like a big R. So if you want PTO on this day, I encourage you in these situations, especially if you need to know sooner than later whether your PTO is going to be approved, to put a comment in what the PTO is for. If you have to buy airline tickets for that European dream vacation, and a lot of times you're buying those, a year in advance. If you've got a graduation, a birthday, something going on that you're hoping to find out sooner than later, I put the comments in so they know. Because it's going to be up to your leadership how far in advance they approve. This web scheduler isn't changing that process, it's just automating it. You could just put, I'm really tired and I need a day off. Whatever works, and then you submit that.
Right.
You submit that. You're seeing this because there's no time off programmed in for here. So PTO requests always go into the schedule administrator. Okay. So far you've seen the easy stuff. You've seen how to request open shifts, how to request to work, and how to request time off. Now let's look at self-scheduling. Let me do something really quick. I'm sorry, that's not open. Hang Guys, I'm so sorry. Let's just make it right in the middle here.
Will it be capitalized?
No, not my username. Thank you, though. Nothing like logging myself out or locking myself out during a demo. You guys ever notice how you can type till everybody's watching? Alright, so here's where your main thing is going to be today. You open up, you go to Schedule, My Schedule, go to the correct schedule, and for you guys it'll be this 10-7 one. I just opened up this. And this is what you'll see. Over on the side here are the work rules that are pretty consistent across the system. As far as how many, we don't want you self-scheduling into overtime. If you have a weekend requirement, you're going to want to make sure you meet that. And what shift you normally work is what you'll put in. So if I'm not sure what shift I work because I don't know the code, then go to this one, over under by work shift code, and open it up. And what you'll see is all, these aren't necessarily yours. I can go to your unit and show you in a different fashion, but these are all the work shift codes for this particular employee. So let's say, and then anywhere there's a minus means there's an open shift. So if you try to put a number in, like I'm going to do an R just because it says I can't do that. If you tried to put a shift code in and there were no openings, I was capitalized. If you tried to put a shift code in and there were no openings on this day, this is the message you would get, that there are no openings on that day, but you can still make a request. Carmen, though, has worked very carefully to get the right amount of needs on each day. We don't anticipate you're going to run into this, but if you do, and it's definitely a day you want to work, then click OK and submit that. She can look at the work request when she's balancing the schedule. But she's worked very hard to make the numbers correct. This doesn't take away anything in your regular schedule. You still need the same number of people a day on the same shifts that are always there. This is automating the process. As Carmen said, we don't want you thinking that all of a sudden you'll never be able to work the day that you wanted to work because you didn't get in there at the stroke of 8 a.m. That's not necessarily how the process is designed to be. So, but if for some reason you get that, then click on this and see if there's not an open. So right now, 25 people a day could schedule to this shift and this shift. So let's just say that I'm a day shift worker and I'm going to pick my schedule. Once you know what code you're going to work, this is how easy it is to make your schedule. My schedule is now done for that period. Yeah, it's really just giving you a voice, a way to automate it. However, when you're done, please make sure you sign out, don't X out, because there's not a save button per se. And if you notice, anywhere where I scheduled myself, those numbers went down from 25 to 24. So as people continue to schedule, those numbers continue, because a balanced schedule would ideally have zeros across the board. The perfect schedule, which I don't know exists anywhere, but that would be the perfect schedule. As long as we're in self-scheduling period, those 2 weeks, you can come back in here and change it. I could go, oh dear, no, I don't want to work that. I want to work this instead. Okay, but now I've violated a work rule. See how it turned red? Because I've just scheduled myself into overtime. So now I got to come off of something, and then the work rule went away. Okay, so you can kind of monitor yourself there a little bit too. That's as easy as it is to self-schedule. You can still go back into other things and other tabs, and that will not go away. I can still go back and look at available shifts because you will be able to go to previous, like the 8:15 schedule, and see if there's something open that you want to work, and you could request it here. And then you go back to schedule, my schedule. And again, don't trip yourself up by not going to this right period. And my schedule is still there. This scheduling here will not show on your calendar until we publish that schedule. So don't get nervous when you go, I self-scheduled and I don't see it on my calendar yet. Remember how I showed you the yellow? If we're in a self-scheduling period, it's not published yet. So you won't see it on your calendar until we publish it, just like as if we had posted it on the wall, okay, after balancing. The other part of schedule is the weekly view. So if you want to see the unit schedule, see who you're working with, who you could swap with. This goes 1 week at a time. Since we were working in September, let's just go there. This goes 1 week at a time. You can print it if you want. This could be somewhere you could go to see who to swap with, who you're working with, how your day's gonna go. But again, today, oh yeah, look at that, I know exactly what you're thinking, yeah, okay.
Oh, I know. This is why I'm with this person.
Right, okay, we're gonna have a great day today. All right, so today, your focus will be schedule, my schedule. Go to the October one, and what you'll see is this pop up and create your schedule. There's also a key at the bottom. So if you just want to see what the shifts are, or any of the codes, remember I told you that was pending. It's there also. Any of these pluses can be opened up. If you're not sure if there's PTO available on a certain day, you can do time off availability. If there's a minus, there's still PTO available. Although all PTOs requests are requests that'll go into the inbox, whether it says it's available here or not. It's still considered a request. You can also schedule an R in here. So if you go to school on Tuesdays and during balancing, you need to let them know, I can't ever work a Tuesday. When you're balancing, then put an R in there. Okay? You probably already have scheduling guidelines of how many R's you can use per schedule or per, yeah. So this isn't changing that. Again, this is meant to automate the process and make it easier for everyone. For you, you don't have to rush in and you can do it. 8 a.m. is when it opens, 8 a.m. every phase. So after the 2 weeks of it being open, it goes into balancing where you guys can't do anything with this schedule. And then the following Monday, it's published. Questions?
Are you able to modify your schedule once you put a request in? Like say you do it on
Yes.
Monday morning and then on Tuesday you realize you accidentally self-scheduled yourself for a day, you need to request.
So if it's during self-scheduling, you can just change it in here.
Okay, as long as it's in that window, you're okay to?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you made a request for available shifts or requests, go back to my calendar, and if it hasn't been approved or denied, you can simply retract it, and it goes away. Once it's approved, you would need to follow whatever process you normally would for a scheduled shift.
Okay.
But during self-scheduling, you can go in and modify this during that whole 2 weeks. We actually suggest your scheduling admins stay out of it during this time so that you can, people are moving around doing whatever they need to do and actually not tap into it till balancing. But yeah, I can change this all I want during the actual self-scheduling time. I could even do something weird like work a night shift there. God, I don't know why I'd do that, but I could. Especially on
Just because you're in full.
especially on a Monday.
They won't be able to. though.
No. You would schedule only to the shift you normally schedule to. Yeah.
So how many people, like for example, like we went in at 8 o'clock, how many people are gonna be able to self-schedule at the
limited.
same time?
It's not limited. Our whole system is
Really?
able to go in at
Okay.
8 o'clock. All the nursing units have been live on WebScheduler for about 3 years or so. Because that was the huge focus, is
Yeah.
getting those units, because, well, anybody who does schedules know how much time you can spend on a schedule. So what's going on with WebScheduler is as you guys are filling in where you'd prefer to work, you're helping to balance that schedule, because only the amount of people needed on each shift each day can actually self-schedule into those. And again, Carmen has mirrored that to what you guys are currently doing, and that's why it's not a worry that you're never gonna be able to work the day you wanna work or the shift. You're gonna be still working the same shifts that you work. Same number of people are needed every day. We're just automating it and making it easier in the long run to balance that schedule more quickly and efficiently. And then again, you can see it on your phone. You can make requests. The only thing anything you do in WebScheduler, you have to have at least 24 hours to do. If it's under a 24-hour window and you want to swap or add on, you're going to just need to talk to your admins.
Okay, I have a question. This is for Carmen. I'm sure that answers yes in this one. You know how we have a ratio, a daily ratio of how many texts and how many RNs that we have every day. Is that already factored in this calculation here?
It is.
Okay.
All that's in with the core
So
numbers and stuff.
there's no fear or concern that a tech would be swapping with an RN and then you'll have more techs?
What we
in
do
a
is we
particular day?
we figured your 4 numbers in here based on your current scheduling. And so, just to give you an idea, this is what we were looking at. It's broken down by RNs and techs and kind of basically and shifts. Carmen will end up balancing this more, but right now this is what it looks like on how many people can schedule into each shift by skill. And that could change. We're gonna look at it again afterwards, but as you can see, there's plenty of shifts out there. And then the weekend is just a little bit different, well, Saturday and then Sunday. And that's how you guys are currently built your schedule, so we're not dropping anything down. We're not doing any numbers, but this part of it is what drives how many shifts are open. So as you can see, it's done by skill.
And so to answer that, as far as the trades, I mean, it has to be the same skill. And even if 2 people, it's the same that we do now with the paper, where 2 people have to agree and sign it, and then we, as admins, have to okay it. So nothing's happening without our seeing it.
Okay.
So if the 2 people agree to a swap, it goes to the admin's inbox for approval.
Like the robot, not tech.
Correct.
It's just all
All of that's
automated.
the same, it's just through the computer instead of on
Will
paper.
this show the MLOAs? The medically?
It'll show an LOA,
LOA.
as long as it's entered in the computer. Whatever's put in one staff will cross over to WebScheduler and vice versa. They talk to each other continuously, which is why it's so nice,
The same thing with the workers' comp?
as long as it's entered in one staff.
Just, this might be for Carmen, like for 5 days a week, people at 8-hour shift. Like should we put in our weekends that we wanna work for? Cause we usually don't, they usually pick it for us, where you need us.
Yeah, so you can do, I mean, you can leave that blank, or if there's a particular one that you have something that you have plans on, you can put your hours in
Request,
for that particular weekend or something along
Yeah.
those lines to communicate what it is that you're, what you need.
Okay,
So the same way that you currently do, if you have a weekend that's very important to you, you'll put in, hours for that weekend. Couple things I just wanna point out, because I already have a lot of requests in the inbox, because I think it's a little confusing. Some people were going to request and they thought they could get in and do it already, and so they were putting in requests to work. That's a separate thing, that's like requesting additional shifts that are available. When you're in self-scheduling, you should always be under the schedule, my schedule tab. So I think that can be a little confusing for you guys, so I just wanted to clarify that. That it should be only in that tab that you're going into for your actual self-scheduling. Also, I believe Kate was helping me with getting, the papers passed out. I did want to clarify the work codes for you guys to try to make things a little bit easier. So hopefully you can follow that guide. You should be able to find your shift on there. That is your work code. So that would be what you'd be putting in there instead of the A, whichever code you fall under. And then that and an R are the only 2 things that you should be putting in. So in the R's, it's the same as the paper where you can't have more than 5 per schedule. Okay? And just again, it's the same thing as you putting in a paper request. It is a request. It does not mean that that's your schedule, because I still have to balance everything out in that week where it's closed. So once it's published, that's your schedule. So Same exact thing that we do now where you guys put in your request and then, you know, once I balance things and then it's posted, that's what your actual schedule is.
Think how cool it is when you can't remember if you work tomorrow or not, you can just pull open the app on your phone.
What's the
Right?
name of the app again?
It's ANSOS to go. If you look at the employee quick guide, it's AN, it's all caps,
It's in the papers that were
ANSOS.
handed to you guys, all the stuff. There's,
Oh, you may not have gotten one.
you were given, I'll get you the packet.
It's ANSOS, the number 2, and then go.
It's alright, she said she's
Okay.
gonna read the packet. Thank you.
Yes.
Does it have the capability to share the calendar?
No.
What
Sorry.
about printing?
What-
Yeah,
what?
she just said
What
you
about
can print
printing?
it. You can
Well, you
print.
can print it in the
Yeah.
weekly view if you want.
can.
You can print it in the weekly view. And you have a printable view for your calendar if you wanted to. If you wanted to print your own calendar, you could. So you can print your own or you can print the unit schedule, however you want. Remember, it's kind of a fluid schedule now because people can be making requests all the time. So instead of going out and crossing something off on the paper or making a change on the paper, it will be done in here now. So it makes it kind of nice. Really, technology is our friend.
Is the login username, is that case sensitive?
No. Your username should not be case sensitive. The password is. I can tell you, did anybody not get an email with their username and password on Friday?
I haven't checked
Oh.
it yet. I was
Well, I
so
can tell you
busy.
it'll be your normal username, just to make it easy so you don't have to go digging for it. And everybody's temporary password is summer 2018. Summer is in all caps, and there's no spaces.
That's also in the packet of papers that was handed out to you guys, that sheet.
Are we gonna be doing call this way too?
No.
No, call will be done through bid shift. And that's something that I will be getting more information to you guys on because we won't start that until this schedule post, which isn't until September 10th. So there'll be more information to come with that.
But what'll happen is with doing, because WebScheduler only has one on-call code, so we can't customize the times. We can on bid shift, and then the staffers, as soon as you say, I want this on call, they enter it in one staff, which means it will show in WebScheduler. So you'll have the ability to swap on call in WebScheduler also.
How far in advance can you request a
A
The
year,
same, up
whatever
to
it
a
is
year.
now. Doesn't mean,
Or whatever it is with you guys, if you guys are different, I'll have to check with Giselle, but I think everybody's the same.
Only SPD 6 months.
If I got locked out and I need assistance signing in, how do I need to?
well, there's a couple different ways. Your unit, your scheduling admins here have it. The central staffing office, I can give you that phone number because they're almost 24 hours. They close from like 2:15 or midnight to 2:15 a.m. But that number's, you want the number?
Yeah.
You want me to rattle it off? 858-499-5364.
5364.
Yeah, there is also a way for you to reset your own password. But it's usually quicker to just call. But you would have to try to log in incorrectly 5 times to be locked out. So
That information's also on the handout.
Oh, you're so good.
There's like a group of 3 handouts. If you did not get them, let me know because I will print you more copies.
If the first time you go
That's
to
on there as
log in,
well.
oh yeah, first time, one of the easiest ways to mess up logging in is just not paying attention to upper and lower case. That's the easiest way to get locked out, I guaranteed. Yes,
If we already submitted PTO for later this year, do we have to resubmit it on this?
No. So thank you for bringing that up. That was something I was gonna let you guys know. So just to kind of help everybody out and help with the transition, if you've already turned in stuff, I will enter it manually into OneStaff so you don't have to do it again. Okay, so I will take care of that. It'll just be from today on that you will be submitting everything online through WebScheduler. So there shouldn't be any more paper requests coming in here. So from today forward, you'll submit everything there and I'll take care of the stuff that's already been submitted.
I have a question for you, Carmen. So will this do away with the people list and crossing off? You'll be able to print a schedule of who's working and only who's working for the following shift for
Yes.
treasurer's helper?
And
Excellent.
I'm working on the details of that, on how the people, show up on the list, so that's, I'm gonna work on that with Debbie a little bit here this morning. Try to get that kinda dialed in, and then we will be moving to that.
So all the leads will also follow the same rule, right? The leads, they're also gonna go submit their schedule, their new
Yes,
schedule.
every employee, yes.
Okay. Also, I just wanna, okay, go ahead, Michelle.
So
Sorry.
I wanted to ask about the PTO. So if I wanted to request PTO for next March, do I just go to the
Go to
calendar
March. Yep, go to March.
and go to March and put it in, and that's
It's
it?
not been approved yet.
Pardon me?
If they have not been approved yet, yeah.
Right, right. I mean, I'm just asking how.
In my little world, I can only go to February, but yeah, you would go to March.
She's already now, what's it, in March. She already counted her days off.
I would go, you go.
She's good in math.
I just need to know how to do that.
Yes, right. You go here and go, right? I mean, that's the important stuff, so we can take that well-earned vacation time. I don't know about you guys, but I have never been close to 400 hours of PTO. And I'm like, I take it when I have it. So you just,
Eric has 445.
yeah, people that go, okay, I have to take time off because I have 420 hours. I'm like, really? How do you even get that much?
Really?
So then I would just go to the month and request the PTO there.
Just one thing before you guys go. Just like using the cell phone in the OR, you may not be working on your schedule on your computer when you are circulating or when you're in the room. Okay, I just want to be out there because I can see already. Oh, my guy's 8 o'clock. Now let me remind the patient. And then make sure I put in my stuff. So there's no contest here, so who's gonna go first? Okay, it's open.
During breaks, lunches, and after work,
And
you
she
can
still,
do it.
Carmen still has to approve it, or Sherry, so it's not like.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be
first come,
erased.
first served.
I would like to just say thank you to Carmen and Debbie, because Carmen has worked on this. And this was a lot of training for her, and a lot of reaching out to help you guys, and she had Sherry as her backup, so thank you guys, because this
those
is,
people.
Gisela, yeah, there's some super users. Just, this is for you guys, this is really gonna be simplified for you, so I really wanna say thank you, it's
The
been a
staff
lot
loves it
of
in the
work
floor,
for her.
they love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Paul, I know, did it in the ED, and Dawn, so, I'm sure if somebody's kind of caught up in a struggle, you can help.
Once you get used to it, it's cool.
So,
Yay, it's WebScheduler.
Hey, just real quick, handed out surveys when you fill them out, because usually now